So what if I told you could bring ChatGPT functionality straight into your clipboard? Just imagine you're in any application on either Mac or Windows, or even on your iPhone, and you copy some text. You then wait for a prompt to say what you want to do with that text. You click OK. That whole prompt then gets created on a server and then comes back of a reply. You get a beep on your machine and you can press Control V or Command V to paste it back into the application without even leaving the application. So this is entirely possible. It uses two services. It uses the OpenAI service. The OpenAI service is the service behind ChatGPT. And there's some big benefits for doing that. One big benefit is faster and it's much better at data privacy. I've put all of this entire process before I show you how it works and what you can do. It's in a blog post. If you're watching on the blog post and the videos there, look down. If you're on YouTube or other social networks like LinkedIn, Facebook, etc., then I'll paste a link for it somewhere around the video or on our bio. So I strongly recommend you to go to the blog post because there is some really good things like costings on there. There's a good walkthrough of how I built it. And there's also some information about the data privacy inside of OpenAI versus ChatGPT. So without ado, let's get started and show you what you can do. So the first thing I'd like to show you is just imagine you've got an email in and the chap said to me, I watched your video on buying a second-hand car and I'm impressed. I'd like to buy one, but I don't know how. Could you please tell me what I need to do? So in a normal world, you might start typing away and answering the question, but you might want a bit of a productivity gainer by just seeing whether AI can actually help you with the prompt and then you can amend what it gives you. So the way you do this is literally, I'm going to press Command C because I'm on a Mac, obviously Control C on Windows. And that's done. And to prove that's now on the clipboard, I'll just paste it there. Perfect. Let's undo that. Right, now I've created a keyboard shortcut. Now, the keyboard shortcut will cause on the Mac the Shortcuts app, which you can see here, to load. And all I've done here is I've gone on look at information. I've set Command and the up arrow. So Command, Control and the up arrow will fire my shortcut without me even having to load the shortcut. You can do exactly the same on Windows, and we've also got some documentation in the blog post, but you have to use a product called Power Automate Desktop. There'll be other ways to do it, but we've done it and show you how to do it on Power Automate Desktop, which is actually free. So I'm going to call my shortcut now by pressing my keyboard shortcut back in the app. So it's on the clipboard. I'm going to do Control, up arrow, and I'm going to go, let's reply to the question, done. And then what happens is you've got a prompt here, which shows you what's a copy on the clipboard. You can change this if you want to, so you can add extra text in. And so you could actually give some more hints to the AI, say, give me 16 answers or give me 3 versions, blah, blah. You could add more prompts in there. Click done. Now what will happen, that's taken my clipboard text. It's picked the template that I've just chosen, which was reply to text. Then it's gone up to make the service and it's looked for that template to get the pre-written chat prompt that I've created. And then it combines that with the clipboard text. It sends it off to OpenAI. Then it comes back and then it will play a sound, which you should hear shortly. And then it will be on my clipboard so I can just Control V it in. There it is. There you go. So we've got a nice answer there. Hi, Mark, I felt you found my video helpful. Firstly, set a budget. Second, do your research. That's pretty good. You'd use that. So that's one example done. So let me bring up Word. Imagine you're writing something in Word and you want to continue it. So what I do, Commands, Control, up arrow. And then I want to I've picked some templates. You can add whatever you want in here, or you could have 1 or 2 or hundreds for your company. And while I mention that, that's one of the key things actually is because if you use this in your company, all of your staff could point to the same scenario on Make. And that means if you've installed the shortcuts or the Power Automate desktop flow and you've allowed them to pick these templates, this will give you some consistency for your company. And it also gives you a way to log what's being sent out. And because it's using, as I mentioned earlier, OpenAI, it's got better data security. So it's a nice way, actually, if you've got a team that you want to give ChatGPT-like functionality and you're worried about your data getting lost, this is quite a nice way of doing it because it means you can have consistency across all your prompts. And there's other ways you could take this whole forward where you could get the thing to train on your own data, etc. But what I want to do is I want to continue text. Okay, the 5 deadliest animals. I'm hoping it's going to write me some text now because I've already pre-written a prompt inside of Make, which basically says, read the following text, which is part of a document. I want you to continue writing the document for me. Make sure to follow the structure and format of the text below. So let's just wait for the beep. Okay, let's come back. Let's paste it. So what's it said? So I've said, I started out saying I'm going to create the 5 most deadliest animals. These are the animals we'll cover. So it's mosquitoes. I wouldn't have ever guessed that, but I guess it makes a lot of sense. Mosquitoes, box jellyfish, saltwater crocodile, aquabullet, and then it's even written me a paragraph of each. And so that's quite a nice way of working in Word, as I'm sure you'll agree. Or if you need some inspiration, you'd like to carry on for you. The next thing is quick example. I've got nuclear fission here, which I don't understand. Now I'd like it to explain it to me like I'm a 3-year-old. So I'm just going to bring up my prompt and I'm going to say, can you explain this, please? Done. Done. And the prompt I said there for explain this is something along the lines of explain the following text to me in simple terms, use an analogy if appropriate, explain it so a 3-year-old could understand. Okay, that's back. Let's have a look what it's done. Here we go. And I've asked for an analogy, so hopefully it's going to give me an analogy. So fission is like breaking a bar of chocolate bar into 2 smaller pieces. Imagine a tiny marble, neutron is in the chocolate bar, large atom. So yeah, I'm still not intelligent enough to understand, but you get the idea. It's give me an analogy and it's try to explain to me what nuclear fission is. So that's pretty cool. Let me just show you some of the other prompts. I won't actually demo them all, but let me just show you what we've done. So for example, you might have a sales email generator. In fact, I will show you this one. I'm going to show you something very quickly. So I'm going to come to Jeff's workshop and I'm going to literally copy all the text. I'm going to put that onto the clipboard. So Command C, I'm going to bring up my prompt and I'm going to pick sales email generator. Done. While it's doing that, I'll just explain what we do. So we've got a certain way of writing emails in an email series. So whenever we launch a new bit of training, we send 3 emails to our email list and we know that they kind of work because we write them in a certain way. So I've told the prompt how to create the emails. And this is really good because if you've got a marketing team and like you want several people to be able to write emails and you want them all to be consistent in a way that you know works, because you're always going through the same scenario as a team, if you've got the same templates on everybody's machine, this means you can get some consistency and also big time saver for your company. That's now come back, so let's paste it. Here we go. Let's see what it's done. So subject line, unleash the power of teams. Hey there. I felt like brilliant, brilliant. That's email 1, subject line, boost efficiency, email 2, and they are brilliant starting points. So that's a really big help for me. One thing I really love is, and I keep mentioning it, is the consistency of prompts. Because every time I go into ChatGPT or Claude, I struggle to remember where the prompts are and I'm fiddling around, I'm looking on Notepad. Whereas this gives you a way to put your prompts into a library because you know what prompts work and you keep refining your prompts so you get exactly what you want. And then you've got consistency because it means every time you send up and you pass the prompt template that you want to load, it's always going to load the same one. And it's going to load the same one for everybody in your company as well, which is really cool. So I hope you like the power of that. As I say, it's really quite cheap. And I'm just going to tell you about the cost now. Let's have a look at the blog post. And if we scroll down here, I've told you how to do everything. So it's why you probably need to come read it. So how much is it going to cost? So what I've done is there's 2 things that you potentially need to pay for. Make. So you need to run the thing that makes the glue between your clipboard and OpenAI. And Make takes your OpenAI clipboard text, makes the prompt, sends it to OpenAI, gets the response, sends it back down so you can go back onto your clipboard. You'll need an account lease with Make. If you're a low usage user, it's effectively going to cost 36 cents a month. And that allows you to do 1 prompt a day, which is a big prompt as well. That's up to 750 words, which is 1,000 tokens. And then I've costed up moderate usage and heavy usage. The worst case is if you've got a team, you're doing 100 prompts a day. So you've got a team of 5, for example, and they're doing 20 prompts each a day. It's going to cost you $52 a month. And a large part of that cost is actually OpenAI, because even on the Make plan of 16 a month with 20,000 operations, that's enough to cater for that team size. And to be honest, the more you ramp up, Make gets even cheaper per operation. So it's not going to cost you a fortune. And you've got the nice feeling that actually, if you do use a similar solution to this, you are using OpenAI, not ChatGPT. So you know that the data you send up won't allow OpenAI to train on the data you paste in when ChatGPT uses it. So if that helps, I strongly recommend you look at the blog post because I put a lot of time and effort into this. And I'm going to actually share some resources on how you set these up. Specifically, the Power Automate desktop and the Apple shortcuts are something of interest, what you probably need to create. Hopefully that's helped and giving you some inspiration of actually what you can do with cost-effective tools. And you don't have to go and buy all these products, etc. You just use the services directly.